Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are all having an awesome afternoon. It is absolutely gorgeous outside here in Pittsburgh, 76 degrees, partly cloudy. Holy hell. What a beautiful day. Great to be with you all. Hope you're all having, like I said, a wonderful afternoon. Jump into chat wherever you're watching. We'll do a little roll call before we officially start the show. In about 5 minutes, I see Biden sucks stuff over on D Live, our lone chatter today. Joe Lane holding down the fort on Rumble. Hit that thumbs up button on Rumble if you haven't already done so. And yeah, lots of lurkers over there today. Let's see who's all hanging out in the comfy bunker, the exclusive place to watch hour number 2 of today's show. Let's see who we got over there. We got Floyd Due Diligence in there. What's up, Floyd? With a triple stuffed bison and Wagyu 5-pound taco with everything cookie. What does a 5-pound taco even look like? How in the hell do you even take a bite out of a 5-pound taco? I bought 3.5 pounds of steak about a few weekends ago, and the bag of steak alone was like this big. So I can't even picture this taco, Floyd. Anyway, Delia in the house. What's up, Delia? Good to see you. Patriot 714. I see Lance out there. What's up, Lance? Good to see you, buddy. HL Paco. Good to see you as well. Joe Elaine modding the chat, keeping everybody comfy. Thank you, Joe. Good to see you out there. There's Maven with the pilled promos post. Thank you, Maven, for all you do as well. So appreciated. We got R. Harrell in the house, Mad Joker, Barb Robbins out there, Tweety 52, Range Pony, and Facts Not Fear. Good to see you all chilling with us today. Cisco Kid, Jesse 81138. Good to see you all as well. Dangleberry dropping some fire Alex Jones stickers. A big fan of the Alex Jones stickers. They just brighten my day when I see those in the chat. Kimha, Fazik, what's up, guys? We got Disco Daphne chilling with us today as well. Good to see you, Daphne. Hope your day's going well. And CK Whitehorse 180. Welcome. Crockett Man 62. Chops ITMC in the house as well. Slaybells 72. Mr. Gerardo, good afternoon, sir. How you doing? And let's see who else. Hey, what's up, Scott? Woke Society's in the house. Great hanging with you yesterday, man. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, keep crushing, bro. Keep crushing. Spicy Chemist. What's good, bud? Dread Quarters, Starwalker 77, K Landry, always in Texas. Too quick. What's going on? Eagle Freedom, Trump, Red Pill 1 says Pinata invasion incoming. All right. Shout out to all the Pinata holics popping in. Hope you guys all enjoyed thinking logically. Hope everyone's cell phone is still in one piece. Target Driver says 1 beer into a 6-beer Jeep bumper swap. I'm hoping it'll be a great show. I will do my best, Target Driver, but I make no promises. I make no promises. I'll try to keep you entertained, I promise. Starwalker 77, good to see you. A from PA in the house, good to see you. A Water Wizard, welcome. Sammy Lou, good to see you. Hey, what's up, Duppy? How you doing? Good to see you, brother. Norm, Hang 10 Alien Surfer in the house. Truth Teller 101. There's my brother Kaiman over in South Africa hanging out with us today. Good to see you. Born Deplorable, what's going on? Rock and Roll Pussy Hole in the house. Good to see you, man. Patriot Drummer, Incorruptible Guardian, Mix Picks, and Rasta. What's up, Rasta? Good to see you all out there. There's Filter Dog 1. What's up, dude? Good to see you in the chat today. We got Wood Geek hanging out with us. Dave 75 as well. Welcome, you guys. Timar down home. Welcome. Brian 1871. Spicoli out there as well. Good to see you all out there. Born Deplorable in the house. Good to see Born Deplorable. Harley Quinn 369 having some fun with some Alex Jones stickers as well. Love to see it. Thirst for Knowledge. Good to see you. Jesse, thank you for the cookie. I appreciate that so much. And Old Salty Dog. What's up, man? Good to see you. And anybody else? Anybody else? Thumper Rose, what's up, Thumper? How we doing today? Cali Patriot 14 over on the West Coast hanging out with us. Good to see you as well. Water Wizard with a can. Thank you, Water Wizard. Oh, so let me silence my phone. It's amateur hour, having the phone going off like that during a live stream. Water Wizard, thank you for the can. Cheers. DCM 17 in the house as well. Brew Bark, Thirst for Knowledge. Good to see you both. Luann V checking in. Good to see you, Luann. And Oil Man, what's up, dude? How you been? Good to see you in the chat today. I hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. Hey, what's up, Jenny? Tell Lyle I said thank you for the update. I'm sure he's listening to Lyle, Jenny, Packers 412, Curious One. I love you guys. And I hope Lyle's doing well. Again, I do appreciate you sending me that update. Michelle Shell, good to see you out there. White Wings and who else? Canada A. I haven't seen Canada A in a minute. I feel like good to see you, buddy. Good to see you out there. Let's see who else. Spirit 554 in the house as well. We got Renee 0304 chilling with us today. Cycle Chris, classical chick. Welcome you guys. Boys Blonde, thank you so much for the cookie. Appreciate that. Laura Y repping the 412. Let's go, Laura. We got the Watcher. What's up, Watcher? Where you been? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day, my friend. And yeah, let's get this started. We'll be right back.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all, I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall, we're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production, Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the plight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight, but I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sights? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, replacing with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes, just start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops, now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess, they want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right, knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right. We are back and kicking off a fresh installment of Deplorable Discussions. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your Tuesday afternoon with us here on 412 Productions. My name is Adel Nero. It is April 9th, 2024. I've got my OG crew riding shotgun with me. Today we got a Tennessee Homesteader and Drunk Pinata. We're going to be going up until about 5:30. We'll start landing the plane around 5:30. I do have a hard stop by like 5:45 today. Got some stuff going on. But it's going to be a fun show. Got plenty to get into and talk about over the next hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes or so. So let's say hi to the crew. Start with Tennessee Homesteader. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Weather sucks, but I'm doing okay.
Is it rainy by you?
Yeah,
Okay.
rainy and cool, not cold, but chilly. But it's just nasty outside.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm up
I
to
had
Pittsburgh.
plans on doing work today, um, but best plans of mice and men.
Yeah, right. You should come up to Pittsburgh. We've got beautiful weather up here today. It's 76 and partly cloudy. It's really nice. Anyway, good to have you aboard. Hopefully the sun pokes its head out soon for you down there in Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, it goes along with yesterday because everybody was eager to see the eclipse, but in my neck of the woods, northeastern Tennessee, was like all completely overcast. You couldn't see shit. You could see that it got dark, during the period of time it's supposed to, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Not that I cared, but
Right on. Well, glad you're here, buddy, and looking forward to getting your take on a bunch of stuff today. So
yeah.
let's go ahead and say hi to Drunk Pinata. We'll take care of our sponsors and get right to it. Pinata, how are you doing, man? How was your show today?
Pretty good. They just can't quit Russian disinformation. So I called today's show Russia disinformation, misinformation, because that's what they've been pushing. They've been pushing misinformation about Russian disinformation.
What specifically is Russian disinformation this time?
Anytime you have an opinion on anything regards to Ukraine or any other foreign policy that doesn't align with their self-serving goals of keeping Ukraine as this um I don't know what you'd call it, vassal of corruption or vessel
Mm-hmm.
of corruption for, the the place where they try to, they're money laundering with. If you don't agree with it, if that's the most important thing and an existential threat to American democracy, then you're just carrying water for Putin's disinformation.
It's such a lame cop out. Like
They
this.
never mention what exactly it is, only that you just disagree with their position, and even that they don't necessarily outline. They just keep it very vague of just like, well, it's for Ukraine and what's going on in Ukraine. That's it. I don't really specify in particular.
They can't. The minute
Yeah.
they do, they start spewing some level of truth, and people get what?
What needs to happen to actually break that spell on the people that believe it? Like there's a percentage of the country, I don't know how big it is, but if you bring up Putin or Russia and frame anything through that context, they shut off. It's not as bad as TDS, I don't think, but it's a very similar like mindset as the TDS people, and it's used the same way. And there's probably a huge overlap in the portion of the population who's gullible enough to fall for this. How do you break that, right? Because any facts or anything you try to bring to them is automatically Russian disinformation. So it's like, but the Ukraine's got electrolytes as thumperers, exactly. Like how do you break this idiocracy, electrolytes, Russian disinformation nonsense mindset? Like what's
Zelensky comes out and says we're cutting a deal.
that's that.
Yep. Because the minute Zelensky comes out, and if he's alive to be able to say it, that they were pushed into this by the Western powers, that's it.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll ever say that, but that's what it would do.
Something tells me that's never going to happen.
I don't know. I don't know if if Zelensky gets some assurances from Russia that, or from Putin, that he will not, let's say that he's safe and his family is safe, I don't know. Because his issues are that he took money and his ass, his head is in the guillotine from the NATO and the U.S. or NATO in general, right? Because
Mhm.
U.S. is part of. But and he's complicit. The minute he says something, he's dead meat. So if he's given the protection, and his parents are given the protection in Israel, I'm sure he would do it. I think he would.
Okay. Well, hopefully that day comes, man, because like I said, I'm just so tired of that cop out. It's so lazy, but it's unfortunately fairly effective against certain people. But anyway, good to have you both here. We're gonna have a fun show today. Let's take care of the sponsors, and then we'll jump right on in, starting with Earth Garden Botanicals up in Montana, run by Jolene, making amazing wellness products like the white pine needle extract, the latest one, concentrate version of the sunshine and pine needle tea. Great for detoxing the body if you feel a cold or coming on or not feeling well or just feel a little sluggish. I highly recommend having some of this. In the medicine cabinet, it could offer some great relief. You have your CBD and hemp products like the CBD oil tinctures, locally and organically grown, all the ingredients for this stuff. And it's a great value too. The flavors are unbelievable. I love orange ginger bergamot and huckleberry. They're my favorites, but there's a lot of other ones too that are also very good, like peppermint, cinnamon bliss, cherry. Unflavored is also awesome as well because the product is organic and made, pure and clean, so he really has a nice taste to it. CBD oil for pets, for your furry friends. You got R&R Delta 8 nighttime gummies for a good night's sleep. The topical cream, the arnica salve with the CBD infused or without for your sore joints and muscles. Check that out as well. Fire cider to clear the sinuses during allergy season. You got elderberry tonic to boost the immune system. Keep that next to your pine needle extract to really go after any cold you feel coming on. Check out the teas, lots of different teas to choose from. I mentioned the sunshine and pine needle tea, but there's a few other ones there to sort through. And then, of course, the critter juice, the all natural insect repellent, keeping the mosquitoes away. Absolutely swear by that stuff. And I'm going to have to start to use it here pretty soon here in Pittsburgh as the weather warms up. It smells good. It doesn't feel oily and gross, and it's incredibly effective at stopping those annoying little mosquitoes from eating you alive the way they eat me alive. 412 at checkout, promo code 412 at checkout gets you 10% off your order. So go load up on the products and tell Jolene we said hi. All right. And also we have Diamond Soap Co. diamondsoapco.com. This is an America First business, and it represents everything America First business is all about. In so many ways. It's family owned and operated. It's veteran owned and operated. Harold and Laura have been married over 30 years, and they make all their soaps and body butters handmade here in the United States using organic, all natural ingredients. They smell absolutely amazing. Scents like bonfire, Kentucky bourbon, cedar amber. We got the green tea cucumber, the lemongrass, plumeria, classic clean, sweet almond. You got tropical, you got the tropical island escape. You've got floral scents like violet, night violet, rose, and lavender as well. Something for everybody. You can get yourself a t-shirt. They got men and women's t-shirts, hoodies, just amazing products by amazing people. Use promo code 412 for 17% off your order and support this America First business. Support that parallel economy instead of buying your soaps and lotions from your Johnson & Johnson or Procter & Gamble. This is a great way to, again, vote with your dollar and support that parallel economy. Promo code 412 for 17% off your order. Diamond Soap Co. diamondsoapco.com. All right, those are our fantastic sponsors today. Thank you guys out there for continuing to support our sponsors. And those of you guys watching on pilled.net, please be sure to red pill and repost. Those of you guys everywhere else, give us a like, a thumbs up, whatever the mechanism is to tell the platform you enjoy the show. And of course, wherever you're watching, grab that link and share it, please. Share it far and wide. We really appreciate you guys all doing that. Also, before we get started, Jesse, thank you for the cookie. Water Wizard with the can. Cheers. Boys Blanc and Renee0304 hooking us up with some early gold pills as well. Thank you guys so much for the early support. Keep it flowing. We'll keep reading them throughout. And let's get into some of the news. I want to start with something freaking hysterical. Mexican media outlet. Let me bring this up on the screen. Mexican media outlet mistakenly airs video of man's testicles during eclipse coverage. So this is blurred out, so don't worry. Somebody sent this news company in like amateur footage of the eclipse supposedly, and they aired it. Unfortunately for them, it had nothing to do with the eclipse. There's a light there, and then they dropped their testicles right in front of it, and they actually aired it on the TV, on the news. So for all you people that were watching the eclipse yesterday, I thought you might get a little laugh out of that. Anyway, let's get to some more serious issues here. Going to the House committee, set for high stakes vote on spy power reauthorization. This is something that's incredibly important and interesting to me. Lawmakers will move forward today with a high stakes proposal to reauthorize a controversial spying power that has ignited sharp disputes and drawn bipartisan battle lines in Congress. The authority in question is Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, is one of several post 9/11 surveillance authorities that have come under scrutiny as lawmakers have tried to reclaim our civil liberties lost in the 2000s. House Speaker Mike Johnson is expected to bring Representative Laurel Lee's Reforming Intelligence and Securing America Act to the floor this week. To begin that process, the House Rules Committee today will mark up a bill that would reauthorize Section 702 while making minimal reforms to the system. However, several proposed amendments could substantially broaden the scope of the bill's current reforms, forming a sudden rebuke of the surveillance state and the intelligence practices of the past 2 decades. The markup will gear the bill up for a final vote on the House floor, where it's far from guaranteed to pass. Mike Lee's bill would reform the bill's controversial 702 and authority passed in 2008 that allows intelligence officials to gather information on foreign actors working outside the United States. At least that's what the rules are supposed to be. However, since the bill was last reauthorized by Congress narrowly in 2018, a series of abuses have come to light and have thrown the future of the entire process into question. In 2021, it was discovered that 3.3 million queries on Americans had been made under Section 702. Though there were fewer the next year, there were still nearly 300,000 queries discovered. The same mechanism was used to improperly spy on President Donald Trump's 2016 campaign during the ill-fated Crossfire Hurricane investigation of the president, which was predicated on the false notion that the President Trump's campaign was working with Russia. It's also been improperly used on political campaign donors, January 6 protesters, and Black Lives Matter protesters. What's in the reform bill? In response to these and countless other reported abuses, Ms. Lee's bill would make some changes to how information is collected and the safeguards around such actions. It would primarily strengthen requirements to ensure that applications to Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court that target United States persons are accurate and complete. It also strengthens penalties for illegal queries, imposing a fine or up to 10 years in federal prison for violations. I'll just say this. If what was the guy's name that got was that 10 years for his meme about election day in the 2016 election day?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but they said he was denying civil liberties. I think that any intelligence agency employee or law enforcement agency employee or whoever that violates your Fourth Amendment rights through the FISA should face the same 10 years. Hands down, no questions asked. Go right to jail. Do not collect $200 on your way. The legislation would also greenlight the program to continue for another 5 years. But privacy advocates have bristled at the bill, which they feel doesn't go far enough to address the causes brought to light over the past several years. In December, lawmakers punted the FISA issue to this month due to longstanding disagreements between House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner and House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan on whether a warrant should be required to query Americans' data. Mr. Turner and the Intelligence Committee, which is more privy to classified information collected from 702 and other sources than much of the rest of Congress, has pushed for any FISA renewal not to require a warrant. This group has argued that requiring a warrant to unmask the private data of American citizens would be too burdensome for intelligence agencies to follow and could pose a national security risk. That's right. Your privacy as an American is a national security risk, according to Mike Turner and much of that committee. Mr. Jordan, who leads the House Judiciary Committee and its subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government, has led another faction of privacy advocates and civil liberty hawks that have demanded a warrant requirement. This group has argued that the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, which protects Americans' property and persons from unreasonable search and seizure, in the absence of a warrant, is clear. Intelligence agencies need a court's permission to collect information on Americans, even in the name of national security. The issue has united an otherwise deeply ideologically divided Judiciary Committee, offering the rare spectacle of an issue that Mr. Jordan and Ranking Member Jerry Nadler agree on. These divides caused another FISA bill to be pulled from a scheduled vote in February. Notably, Ms. Lee's bill does not currently include a warrant requirement. A bipartisan quartet of lawmakers is seeking to change that during the Rules Committee hearing. Under an amendment proposed by Representative Andy Biggs and Jerry Nadler, Ben Klein, and Premila J. Powell, a warrant would be required to query U.S. citizens' communication in most circumstances. A summary of the amendment posted to the Rules Committee website says the amendment prohibits warrantless searches of U.S. persons' communications in the FISA 702 database, with exceptions for imminent threats to life or bodily harm, consent searches, or known cybersecurity threat signatures. So I don't know how that would be abused. I feel like if there's any loophole, it's like, you can't do this. You can't do a warrantless search unless it's these extreme circumstances. I feel like that's just leaving the door cracked just enough for future abuse. And I don't know. I don't trust it. I feel like there should be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The proposal will need to pass the Rules Committee with a majority support to be brought to the House floor for a final vote. They should be added to the legislation. The amended bill could represent a stunning rebuke of the surveillance state by Congress. Several would make further reforms to FISA process as a whole. One such amendment, submitted by John Rose, Republican from Tennessee, would require the Director of National Intelligence to conscript people authorized to handle classified data to witness FISA queries throughout the process. I like that. Another amendment, Mr. Rose, would cut the extension from 5 years to 2 years. Mr. Rose also submitted an amendment that would grant members of Congress the right to attend hearings in the secretive Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, or FISC, which oversees FISA requests. An amendment put forward by Representative Jerry Carl, a Republican from Alabama, would require the FBI to provide a list of names of all U.S. persons queried to both the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. A related amendment offered by Representative Chip Roy of Texas would require the number of these queries to be also be reported, as well as requiring again that members of Congress be allowed to sit in on FISC proceedings. An amendment sponsored by Mr. Klein, Mr. Biggs, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, and Representative Darrell Issa of California would prohibit the intelligence community from resuming the collection of abouts information, a form of collection that could include targeting someone who's merely mentioned by a target of a Section 702 query. It's practice that the National Security Agency claims it no longer uses. The proposed amendment would ensure that such collection did not take place in the future. Others seek to ensure that Section 702 can't be used as a political tool. These proposals would also seek to limit the FBI's ability to target members of Congress under Section 702 after a Republican congressman said he believed the FBI spied on him. Each amendment was submitted by Representative Andy Ogles, a Republican from Tennessee. One would require the FBI to notify the Gang of Eight, a coalition of House, Senate, and Intelligence Committee leadership, when they query a sitting member of Congress. Another would require that member also be notified when the FBI waives the requirement to get that member's consent. Another, in a clear reference to the botched and discredited Crossfire Hurricane probe, would require the deputy director of the FBI to approve any query targeting a political or policy advisor to an official or candidate. During the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, the FBI targeted Carter Page, an advisor to then candidate Trump under FISA Section 702. The other proposals relate to the broader practices of the intelligence community. An amendment proposed by Representative Zoe Lofgren would restrict warrantless surveillance of American citizens under Executive Order 12333, which was signed by President Ronald Reagan and provided grounds to vastly expand the scope of U.S. surveillance. The amendment would also mandate reporting for violations of the requirements. A bipartisan amendment submitted by Representative Warren Davidson, Ms. J. Powell, Mr. Jordan, Ms. Lofgren, Mr. Biggs, and Mr. Nadler would prohibit law enforcement from purchasing the communications and location data of U.S. citizens from third-party sources. The amendment comes after the FBI was discovered to have purchased such information from social media and tech companies. And then it goes into what happens next. There's not much longer. I might as well just finish this one out. With the contents of the final package uncertain and with members of Congress so deeply divided on the issue, it is unclear what the final package will look like or if it will pass. Mr. Johnson, for his part, has urged passage of Ms. Lee's bill. A warrant requirement or other wide-reaching changes to intelligence practices could draw the ire and opposition of Intelligence Committee members and national defense hawks. Likewise, failure to broaden the scope of the bill's reforms could alienate members of the Judiciary Committee and other privacy hawks. The final shape of the House package will depend on the votes of the Rules Committee and, if passed there, the rest of the House. The bill will also face challenges in the Senate, where members like Senators Josh Hawley, Dick Durbin, and Ron Wyden have been fiercely critical of intelligence agencies' abuse of Section 702. Just like in the House, national defense, hawkish, and civil liberty concerns will clash in the Senate, where single members have far more power than in the House to stall legislation. President Joe Biden will also need to sign any bill from him sent by Congress. Once an opponent of Section 702, then Senator Biden voted against the creation of the program in 2007, calling it unconstitutional. But since taking office, he's a staunch supporter of Section 702, and his administration has urged Congress to reauthorize the authority. So, quite a clusterfuck on the issue of 702 and the FISA courts. I find it very interesting anytime you see Jim Jordan and Sheila Jackson Lee and Andy Biggs and Jerry Nadler all on the same side of an issue. It's very, very rare that you see something like that happen, and I understand both sides of this one, especially right now as the border is wide open and you have massive amounts of people crossing from God knows where with God knows what intentions. A little extra surveillance and security seems like it might be a good thing, although the powers that hold the surveillance abilities also tend to be the same, controlled by the same people who create false flags and are responsible for the issues that made us fear our national security state to begin with. So again, this was all created by because of 9/11, which clearly our intelligence communities had something to do with, right? So it's like they created the problem, they created the solution, and now it's like, okay, do we want to keep this in place or not? Do we want to reform it? I think that there should be some type of surveillance, but not against American citizens at all. And if you're going to surveil an American citizen, There needs to be oversight. There needs to be some kind of due process. There needs to be there needs to be a warrant. There needs to be a warrant process, and there needs to be accountability. If it's found, like I said earlier in all this, if it is found that the intelligence community acted fraudulently to spy on somebody, they did not go through the proper process, if they did it uh without what's the word I'm looking for? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. Like a cop can't just pull you over because they feel like fucking with you. Probable cause. That's if they do it without true probable cause, then they need to be very harshly treated by the Justice Department and have extremely stiff penalties for defrauding that system. Because again, you do have a right to privacy in this country. It's a constitutional right that has been as trampled over as any other constitutional right that we have at this point. With this Patriot Act and FISA court creation, our Fourth Amendment has ultimately been completely destroyed right now. So I'll turn it over to the panel. TN, Pinata, how do you feel on this issue? Does the state of our open border make you less on the side of curtailing these programs? Do you think these programs are necessary at all? How should they exist? And what are your ideas for making sure there are due process protections for potential targets? Because they clearly can't defend themselves. You know, you can't allow someone into a courtroom and say, "Hey, we want to spy on you." Tell us why you shouldn't be spied on, because well, then they know you're spying on them. So I'm curious as to where you guys stand on this particular issue.
Well, as I've said from the very beginning, it's all the entire predicate of everything is honesty by the people that are providing the information to the court, by the court, etc. So it really doesn't matter what the rules are. The rules are there now. You have Samantha Powers, who has no power, as an example, no power to do the about queries, having the highest number of about queries. Where does she get the authorization? Who signed off on that? Right? So that, and my take on that, the answer to that was Susan Rice as NSA. Right? But what is the ambassador to the UN doing unmasking US source people?
Right.
So as an example, it really doesn't, it's a double-edged sword, because it, again, even with the FISA, the documentation that they went to the FISC, and the FISC turned it down for Carter Page to begin with, then they came back falsified data. It's been proven that's falsified. So the reality of it is, it doesn't matter what the rules are if you don't have extremely harsh punitive action to those that violate the rules. Then it doesn't matter what the rules are. In this particular case, I mean, it matters what the rules are, but it doesn't matter what kind of mechanisms they put in place if the people that are supposed to execute it are not being held accountable for violating them. So then the other one is, I find it very interesting that you have Jordan and Nadler as an example in agreement, and I would venture to say they agree on one thing, but not for the same reason. I would venture that Jordan is probably for the protection of the people. Nadler is for the protection of their people.
You think Nadler and Sheila Jackson Lee's their objection of this is more because they could see the shoe being on the other foot sometime in the near future.
Well, and if there's disclosure who's being queried, whether there's a warrant or there isn't, but who's being queried, then yeah, they would panic, because that's, in essence, let's go back to Admiral Rogers. Why did he go over to Trump and tell him that he was being spied upon? What was the impetus? From what we understand, the impetus was he took over the NSA and saw all these people doing ABAC queries. When he started looking into that, he says, they're spying on you. So if there's any form of recognition as who is being reported upon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Congress gets involved, why don't we just, make it the Civ getting involved, because Congress is a freaking Civ. You had Adam Schiff going out there and screaming as we come to understand, to CNN when they were having secret private meetings.
So shiny.
So you can't trust any of them. So, I mean, you can get rid of the whole thing, and I don't know if we would suffer any, to be honest, because that would revert back to what they should have been doing. But understanding that the whole premise was, and this is where Obama violated the shit out of it, right? The whole premise was to be able to utilize U.S. mechanisms to spy on foreign individuals, and if that foreign individual was having a conversation with a U.S. individual, that's where the unmasking requests come in, and it was supposed to have executive level authorization to do so.
Yeah.
That was under Bush, right? Now comes Obama, and all of this shit that we've seen, related to the violations of both what call it the Patriot Act, whatever, all the violations we've seen came under Obama.
So shiny.
All of them.
Yeah.
Every single person that violated, and the last person to do unmasking, the very last person to do unmasking, was the first one to suggest the Logan Act against Flynn, was Joe Biden.
Yeah. I remember that. Joe Biden unmasking Flynn. I remember that whole story coming out. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So, right, that's my 2 cents. I don't have an answer for it, because the true answer is like what we were talking about. This may sound like a non sequitur, but like what we were talking about yesterday about voting. It doesn't matter how you vote, it's how you count, and the sanctity of the count. And here, it doesn't matter what rules you have if you don't have punitive action against the sanctity of those rules.
Yeah, I mean that's so true. You could have all the rules in place that you want, but if no one's enforcing them and there's no consequences to breaking them, then those rules are completely useless.
Irrelevant. Exactly. Exactly. And we've seen that. We saw that with the 8 years of Obama, and we've seen it with the 3, soon to be 4 years of Biden. In spades, we're seeing it. Mayorkas is violating him every day. I mean, not FISA, but he, in a way, even with that, because how many illegals that were spotted and or captured were already on the terrorist watch list?
So shiny.
Not the no-fly list, not the terrorist watch list. So
I
that
think,
kind of proves my point, right? So
yeah, I like the idea of having a select committee in Congress chosen maybe by the leadership of each party that has access to classified information, including they could go in and kind of audit this whole thing from time to time or whenever they want to. Like right now, I am terrified of some kind of false flag event or some kind of terrorist attack in this country because of the way the borders are, right? You just have people pouring over. You have no idea what some of these people might do. It's like I feel like some protection is a good thing, or the ability to surveil potential terrorist threats is a good thing. You don't want to blind yourself completely. But the double-edged sword nature of it, where you have people that will abuse that power and use it for political purposes to spy on political opponents or just whatever people they don't like. There needs to be some kind of oversight by authority accountable to the voter, I guess, if that makes sense. And I thought the idea of congressional oversight made sense to me. But then, then you have to make sure that you're getting the right people in those positions. And, who knows, like who knows how that would even work or play out, or the mechanics of that. I don't know. This is
I
a
don't
really
even
tough
know if there's any, because I was thinking military,
one. Mhm.
but because in the public sector, there's too much money. Now, not that there isn't any money in the military, but there's much harsher and much less stringent rules of governance, meaning easier to penalize. That's what I'm trying to get at, right?
Mhm.
But the higher you go, even in that organization, we've seen it. We've seen it now. You have Floyd Austin, right? Austin, who was a four-star general, right?
Mhm.
Secretary of Defense, right after a stint in the military-industrial complex. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one from what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with you. It's a tough one to pick which entity would be responsible for that has some level of not being corrupted.
Titties and Beer says, what politician would you trust with classified documents? If you say any, then you're not awake yet. I agree with what you're saying. Um, it's not that I trust any of them necessarily, but
But you
they're the
can't say any either.
yeah, they're the only people, and I say specifically, and the Congress, because they're the only people that are our representation. Now, they've done a terrible job of representing us, and I would argue that many haven't represented us at all, and that's not my point. My point is that you need someone that's accountable to the people, and that could be voted out of their position if they fail at the job. I don't want a bureaucrat involved with it. I don't want an unelected bureaucrat involved with it. So I feel like, at the very least, in theory, in a world of fair elections and no dark money in campaigns, and if the way we created our government, from a election process was clean or cleaned up, the people would have the ability to at least influence who's in that role, and influence the kind of person that's in that role. That's, I guess, where I'm coming from, because right now, as it stands, nobody involved with that process is accountable to the people. It's all done in the shadows. You can't vote any of these people out. You really can't influence the firing or removal of them in any way. You just kind of have to trust that whatever shadowy figure they put in charge of this is going to do right by you. When
Well,
it's
the
when it's
problem is,
you at least know who the person is, and you know that every 2 years, every 6 years, that person has to win your vote. And again, in theory, then at least you have a way of reprimanding them if they fail at the job.
the problem is we don't have an educated enough electorate to even have that control mechanism. Because look at, you have Adam Schiff as the top running candidate for Senate out of California.
No quarrel with you there. Again, I'm coming from an idealistic
No,
state.
I understand what you're saying. That I'm just saying that it's idealistically, yeah, I can understand what you're saying, even if you had non-corrupted individuals. But how do you have an electorate that doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground in volume, turn around and hold these people accountable when they don't know what job they're doing? Because it's secret, right? So
Mhm.
that's where I don't know what the answer is. Truthfully, I don't know. I'm not trying to just shoot holes at it. again, I would have said the military if it wasn't for what we've seen under Biden and under Obama. But mostly under Biden, because Obama set the stage for Biden. But right, from what we're seeing now,
Yeah.
even in the military, and I'm not talking about the rank and file. I'm not talking, let's say, colonel and down guys. I'm talking about, and there are plenty in the lower ranks, the non-coms, that are more than willing to do the bidding, but it's the stars and above.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
The single star and above, I should say, right? Because even a single star is a, you know, a small star general to a 4-star general. You have the likes of, again, Austin and Milley, and you had others that have gone through even under Trump's term. We don't know the truth about many of them yet, but we've seen those that were ousted because they weren't doing the bidding back then. How many did Obama take out because they weren't following Ben Rhodes and Susan Rice's orders?
There needs to be some kind of a record of people who want the unmasking, and then there needs to be some sort of audit around that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that it can't exist like it does now, where it's just this shadowy black box with no accountability and no transparency whatsoever. There needs to be
I want harsh. I mean, life in prison harshness.
minimum decade, a minimum a decade.
Well,
If they're gonna throw you in jail for 10 years for a meme that they say denied people their civil liberties, then this should be met with at least that, if you violate FISA or defraud the FISA court to take away an American's right to privacy.
No, that's what I'm saying. That right there. Well, it's not just taking away Americans' privacy. I understand that. The fact that you went into the FISC knowing that you had fraudulent data and you signed off on that, those that signed off on that, right? Life in prison.
I'm fine with that.
Because you had Sally Yates knowingly, right? You had Comey knowingly.
Yeah, Tien, I don't have any quarrel with that. I started at 10 years because I had a concrete example of this Justice Department doing that to a citizen for supposedly denying his civil liberty with a meme, right? So that was just why it was my starting point. Because I draw a parallel, different civil liberties, but the denying of a civil liberty. If they're going to throw this poor guy in jail or attempt to for 10 years over a meme, and their justification is it was denying people their civil liberties, then that should be the starting point for this, at least. If you want life, I don't have a problem with that. I was just using 10 years based on what we just saw recently in this country, right? So that's where I got that from. So it's somewhat arbitrary, but not really. There was a parallel.
I went for life because they went to the well multiple times. They were denied. Then they falsified a story, pitched it out to the media, and used that story to get the warrant. Then they renewed the warrant 3 times, all knowing that it was all bullshit, all knowing that the PP dossier was false. Yep, life in prison.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I am absolutely all for it. Harsh penalties for this kind of thing.
The other thing that I have, if we're going to have a FISC, I have some serious concerns it being under the auspices of the Supreme Court. Because that's who was the guy that was in the FISC, the judge that gave those warrants, right, was under Roberts.
That's right.
Now, our enemies know that. And the enemies, and I don't mean state actors necessarily. They know that. That's how they go after these people and compromise them. But I don't know. I don't think there is an answer other than not having this at all. But to your point, if you don't have it at all, what's the security measures that you have to be able to prevent things from happening?
Yeah, and all right,
I'm
let's
not
say,
defending the Patriot Act or that kind of stuff. I'm
yeah,
just
well,
what.
and just think, Tien, like, all right, um, let's say Congress, removes this FISA court, takes away a major tool of the deep state and the intelligence community, which they're pretty much synonymous at this point. And we know that the intelligence community will generate or create false flag events, create or to get to some political ends. Like, you've now also handed them major motivation to convince the American people that this is actually necessary, and to reverse this removal of
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, like, how long would it take before the CIA and the FBI and whoever else might stage something, Hegelian dialectic? See, this is what happens when we can't spy on people. Buildings start collapsing and people start blowing up, and this, that, and the other thing, right? Um, I feel like it wouldn't be long at all before something happened to try to convince people that it was the wrong move, or
yeah,
almost like,
no doubt, and no doubt. There's no good answer here. There is no good answer, because it comes down to the corrupt nature of individuals, and that's the sad part of it all. And those that are willing to corrupt know who they can corrupt.
mm-hmm. No, absolutely. So there you go. It's a tough issue. It's a tough issue. We're gonna go ahead and break up the show at this point. Again, we're gonna go. I have a hard stop at quarter till, so we're gonna keep the conversation going until about 5:30. Then we're gonna start wrapping things up. But I want to continue on down this line. There was it wasn't Project Veritas, but it was a Project Veritas style video of a CIA officer, former FBI boast, can put anyone in jail, set them up. We call it a nudge. It's like an undercover video that I want to play. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but I figure we watch it together, and it's related to this conversation. So don't go anywhere, because you're going to want to see this on the other side. For those of you watching on Rumble, D Live, Cloud Hub, Odyssey, Twitter, and YouTube, please come over to pill.net and find us for the second half. The link is in the Rumble description, and I will throw it in the Rumble chat and the D Live chat as well. Make it super easy on you all to jump on over for the second half, where we will be exclusively on pill.net. So there you go. It's in the chats. Get on over there. I'm going to play a quick video, and then we'll come back on the other side, say goodbye to the other platforms, and read some gold pills, and then we'll continue on with the conversation. See you guys in 60 seconds.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pill.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, we are back. Big thank you to everyone who jumps over from the other platforms to hang out with us for the second half. I really appreciate all of you who do that. Those of you who aren't going to be doing that, it's quite all right. I understand. I appreciate you watching the first half of the show. We will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. I believe we're going to have Max and On of the Rise Attire Tribe on the show with us, kicking some stuff around. So look forward to that. Thursday's taking it back, and Friday we'll be wrapping up the week, hopefully with Ben and Tina Garrison. So lots to come here on 412 Productions. But again, We do have a little while longer on this broadcast here today. You just got to go over to pilled.net to see it. Go to pilled.net on your browser. Look up if you're on mobile for all the live channels. You'll see us, the black and gold thumbnail, 412 Productions. If you're on desktop, just look to the left side of the screen. You'll see all the thumbnails over there on the left. Just go and click our thumbnail, and it'll bring you right out into the show. Again, the link is in the live chat and in the Rumble description, in the DLive chat as well. So please jump on over and continue hanging out with us today. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.